Hello guys, let's continue our discussion about classes. So what we learned in the previous video is that whenever we create an instance of a particular class, its constructor will be invoked. So which in our case is this particular constructor. So the two we passed will come to this, and the ID, which is a member of this particular class, will be initialized with the value 2, and that is why when we call print, the 2 is getting printed over there. I'm going to make a few modifications to this code to explain one of the concepts to you all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another function, okay, which will take the argument of the type student, and inside that, once it gets the student object, we will invoke print from there. Okay, that's all. And instead of directly calling print here, what I'm going to do is the object that we have created, I will pass that object to this particular function over here. That's the only change that I'm going to do. So what's going to happen is that the student object is going to get created. That object will be passed as an argument to this invoke function over here. And then from there, the print will be invoked. So it should do exactly the same thing. There should be no change in the output. So let's run, and yeah, that's how it works. Now I'm going to try something very interesting. Instead of passing the student object to the invoke function, I am going to pass the integer 2 to it. And let's see what happens in this particular case. Now, in general, whenever you have a function that is expecting an argument of a particular type, you need to pass arguments of that particular type to that particular function. But in this case, we are not doing that, and we are passing the integer directly to a function that is expecting a student object. So what is going to happen? I do not see any errors at the moment. So let me compile this, and okay, let me first clear the screen to avoid confusion. And yeah, let me compile, and now let's look at the output. So I still see that it works. There is no error at all. There is no complaint, and it all looks fine. Why is this happening? Now, this is where you need to understand one of the concepts called as an explicit constructor in C++. So the significance of explicit constructors, especially during such scenarios, what's happening in this case is that a student object is being expected in this particular function, but we're passing an integer to it, and this particular student class in fact has a constructor that is expecting an integer argument. So there is an implicit conversion that is happening, that the 2 that we are passing is now getting here, and the constructor of the student class is being used in order to take that 2 as an argument and create the required student object and then use it. So this is the implicit thing that is going on internally, and that is why it still is working. And if you do not want such things to happen, if you do not want such implicit conversions to happen, whenever you have a class which has a constructor with a single argument, make it a habit to always mention the explicit keyword over there. Now, the moment you do this, let's get back to the main.cpp, and you see an error over here which says no suitable constructor exists to convert from int to student. So this is the power, this is the intention, and this is the purpose of the explicit keyword or explicit constructor in C++. So that's all in this video. Let's meet in the next video.